Hello, welcome to Yarnchix Podcast, episode 62. My name is Mimi. I Instagram and, basically I live in Berlin and my Instagram handle is liebwed. So my Instagram account was dedicated to the local area I live in. So I abbreviated the word Liebes and Wedding, so 2 words, and I kind of joined them at the hip, and so it became liebwed. That is my Instagram account, and I host this here Yarnchix Podcast, all about crafting, mending, and our community. So there's always craft alongs going on, and currently a swap. I welcome you here to my little corner of YouTube, and hope you're well. That would have been a little bit of a visual intro. So when I record a podcast at some point, I also film all the projects and I try and edit these so that you have a little bit of time to go and get yourself a hot drink or your project or just to share a little glimpse of what's to come. I wanted to dedicate the first 5 minutes to our swap because I'm very excited that around 40 to 45 people have already registered. So it's, a sizable number, and I'm very grateful and excited that you all want to swap in the Stashvent swap. Stashvent is, the idea is that we swap countdown calendars, and the occasions can be anything as long as it's like December, January time. We have Stashvent calendars for Hanukkah, we have Christmas, we have summer solstice, we have quite a lot of New Year's Eve calendars now. Obviously they start a bit later on in December, so as to be fair, because all calendars are made for a person specifically, so personalized by someone else in our circular swap. Circular swaps are that you give to someone and they give to someone else, so it's not like a one-on-one. It involves a lot of trust and it involves a lot of care, and I'm happy that a lot of people are up for it, to trust this process, that in our community there's people who will hold our celebrations dear, who will listen and read our questionnaires to find out who we are and what we dream to make. In the past, I was often referring to this in my Vlogmas, so you have all the Vlogmases of Yarnchix to go back to have a reference, to see me unpack mine, to hear me chat about this. And I can just recommend from my heart that there is places where you can read and find out these things, but generally giving is a beautiful thing. You go and give something, and you choose something specifically for someone else, and you kind of listen in a little bit and learn alongside that you do have enough, that you have a beautiful stash, and you might, wind a little mini of like a sock yarn as such, and just wind 10 grams of a skein that I'm only going to use this for a heel, so I might as well part with some of it. And it's around 10 grams per day, especially if you have like a advent calendar, which will be like a countdown that most people will understand the reference of. Then it's about a 10 gram. Sometimes when I made them in the past, they were 12, they were 15, sometimes they were 8, because I had a really special hand-dyed yarn, and I was like, I'm just gonna give a little bit of this because it's my stash yarn. I'm gonna part with a little bit of this treasure. I will kind of open the skein, crack into it, and I'll share some of it, which I did in last year's calendar. And yeah, obviously maybe they were a bit below 10. All in all, it means you get to around 200 grams plus. Let's say 200 grams is kind of a guidance line, which will help you, especially if you make a Hanukkah calendar, where the days are 8 days, so it's portioned in a shorter time. So it would be great to do add in like a 25 gram skein, or like half a skein of one of your yarn balls, or maybe you would have bought, I don't know where it is. I recently bought a skein, I will find it in a minute. Bought a treasured mini, like a hedgehog fiber mini. I recently treated myself to in the past, and it's not to your liking, like a treasure like that. Add some stitch markers or something if you feel like it. This is 100% optional. It's not a must. And then you make a calendar, so every day is a present, and the person can unwrap them and count down to their event. Hanukkah, especially in the past, has been a bit of a misunderstanding, or people don't necessarily reflect that, yes, we are a community and we hold all these different beliefs and religions and celebrations. And I would really recommend you maybe take the time to learn a little bit about these celebrations. It happened to be the ones where we've had the most hiccups in the past, as in maybe damaged things being sent, or not fully grasping the idea that you don't make an advent calendar for someone who celebrates Hanukkah. And I would recommend processing this in advance, as in now's the time where we can look at our stash. I got this mini recently, and I'm like, oh, I really hope my person likes purples, so when I get the questionnaire of my swap partner, I will be like, yes, they like purples. Or they said they don't like purple at all, so I won't be cracking into this one. That's just one way of preparing myself, of looking at what I have, going into my stash, looking at my leftovers. I recently bought this, it's new to our shop, Yarn at Work, where I work. I work at Wollen in Berlin, it's a yarn shop. And I just really like it. And it's got these rusty speckles, and it's very autumnal, speckly yarn. So maybe this would be something my swap partner also likes. So I have to wait to see till I have that questionnaire. Sign-ups are open now for the swap until the 29th of October, which is in 3 to 4 days, depending how quickly I can edit this. And then around the 1st of November, so 1st of November the latest, you will find out who you're making the countdown calendar for. So it'd be great if you wait until then. Last year I prepared some mini skeins in advance, and it happened to be fine, I also prepare some mini skeins because we've had calendars lost in the mail, or like I said, damaged things sent. So I've replaced, I think I've in the past replaced 2 Hanukkah calendars. So I really hope this year we're aware of the questionnaires and we read. And I do not necessarily want to replace a calendar, but I'm preparing myself for this as a community thing. This year's registration comes with a €10 fee, and I'm really grateful that most people were really understanding, and actually it hasn't changed the numbers of registrations. So we can swap within America, we can swap within Great Britain, and we can swap in Europe and maybe overseas. If there is only one person registering overseas in the past, I sent my calendar, I will opt to send to them so I can send it really quickly, because I'm, the host. I can send like 1st or 2nd of November. Otherwise, as you find out on the 1st of November, the latest, who your swappee is, I think we should aim for mailing out the countdown calendars around the 15th of November. So that's mid-November, the latest. There's always reasons and things, and some people travel and some people this and that, but we're just trying to get the countdown calendar to the person on time for their countdown. So if that's Advent, it would be great for it to be there before the 1st of December. Same for the winter solstice. Then Hanukkah this year starts on the 7th of December, and it goes until the 15th of December. So that is, on the 7th is the first parcel, and on the 15th is the last parcel. And yeah, I would really recommend making those a little bit bigger and maybe adding a little treat on the last day, or it's up to you. Interpret how you want, but do read. Like, people will share some ideas, some color preferences, some fiber preferences. And especially when it comes to food, please make sure you know any allergies that potentially your swappee has. And then, otherwise it's like a creative project of love and care within the community. I've had so many beautiful calendars made for me, and I've managed to make some beautiful things from them in the past. It's the holiday at the moment, so we're in a big project. The house is a bit topsy-turvy and children are out and about, so you'll hear sounds in the background. It's not like I live on my own. No, we're a family of 5 and we live on a very busy, noisy road, so you're warned. Part of that is also why I host the Magic 3 Mile, which is still up and running until the 1st of December, because I extended it. And I thought, as part of today's podcast, I'll catch you up on some of my drawings that when I recorded last time I couldn't find. So there is this first set that I've planned. And I'm like halfway with the parachutey, and I'm halfway with the pig. I didn't even bring the parachutey. It's a lino muka double dip, and I'm still waiting for the spinach colorway to return to our shop. We sold out because the design pom top was knit from the spinach colorway of our linen in the Pom Pom magazine. So that color was sold out early on in summer, and it hasn't returned to the shop. So as I want to use it, I'm waiting. So the set is a bit on hold. Truffle pig, I've come halfway. So let's see. I've stuffed the yarn ball inside. I'm using DPNs, and this is the front. I'm using Berua. It's a Rosa Puma unspun yarn, so it's very loose, but it's perfect for cuddly toys. Like, it doesn't tear when you knit, or if it tears, you can easily felt it back together. And it has these really nice kind of darker areas. This is the point where I will start knitting the decreases, and I've halted for months and months and months because I need to add the facial expressions, the eyes, and I'm going to use safety eyes, and I want to use felt and make it a bit like when it comes to the expression of cuddly toys, I always take a lot of time. And this time I froze a little bit, but I'm keen to get back on track with this project. So that will be the toy for that set. I hope I will be also patchworking a pair of shorts, but like I said, I'm on holidays. So apart from this Baustelle we're having, like the renovations we're doing in the house, maybe I should pick up some of these things, or maybe I should just think about a new or a different top. So I might make the shorts and the truffle pig, and then I really want to cast on this sweater. It's the Mini Cordy by Kiyomi Burgeon, and I think it was together with the sister. I think they teamed up for this design. I'm gonna get the book to show you. Here. So it's in this pattern book, Mini Pom, and here's Truffle Pig, and down here is Mini Cordy. Which one is it? Here. This design. Yeah, Kiyomi and Sashiko designed this together. I really want to knit it. It's for a friend's child, and the yarn came together during our swap table in 2022 at my local yarn group. I host a yarn group here in Liebeswedding. It's called Liebeswedding Strickt, and we meet every last Tuesday of the month. And once a year I host a little swap table where we just bring things from our stash that just haven't found the love they needed. And yeah, in 2022, so not the last one, but the previous to that swap table, I found all these colors that I want to knit into the Mini Cordy for one of my fellow group members' child. So I better cast on. So I'm going to make that a swatch story for the next podcast coming in November. So as it is knit at quite a big gauge, I'm still hoping to complete it. It's knit with, let's find out the needle size, 4mm needles. That's not so big. I thought it was more like a 5mm. Never mind. It's a 20 stitch gauge. That is a 5mm needle for me. I'm quite a tight knitter. So yeah, I wasn't necessarily right or wrong. I'm gonna knit this. Look at this photo. I really love this photograph. Yeah, I'm excited to knit that, and maybe I'll make that the top for a set and make a Mini Cordy Truffle Pig and the kind of patchwork quilt shorts as a set. However, in that drawing where I drew the Cordy and like a onesie or like a jumpsuit, this is Aggie Sheep, and I already finished Aggie Sheep. So it's a bit silly that I'm not completing both sets, but maybe I can be creative and make up new sets from these drawings. And again, I also made a drawing because I wanted to make a set for myself. The pattern for this keychain by Imogen Denton has been released. All of Imogen's patterns, I think, Imogen is a super creative designer from London, and you pay directly and then get an email with your pattern. So it's very, I want to say offline, but it's not. It's just through Instagram and direct messaging, and there's always donations being made to Sister Space, which is like I think a mental health space. And I think they're donating something to like medical aid in the Gaza Strip right now. So whatever pattern you buy from Imogen, you always know it's going to be reinvested into different NGOs. So I think that's a pretty amazing setup. It's a bit more complicated to get to the pattern, but I promise you it's worth it. I loved knitting anything I've knitted from Imogen. So I'm going to knit myself a keychain because I keep losing my key. So much so that I think I've air tagged my keys now. Or I bought an air tag. I have not yet managed. I have a bit of a blockade. I don't know what you call it. I'm a bit challenged when it comes to like pulling things through that are like this. But I will, however, air tag my keys plus make a keychain so I can wear them around my neck at work if needs be. If it's a crazy day and I don't want to lose my keys, I should have a little tag on it plus a string to put it around my neck. And I want to make a little eaves vest because I love wearing the one I already knitted myself. It might become a cardigan, we don't know, but it's very special yarn that I already own, and I wanted to sew myself a hinterland dress. Hence, I'm making a magical 3 set for me. Maybe I'll make that later on, but I like my drawing. I like my dreams and my plans, and I also like casting on a whim. So I did actually cast on and already cast off this little project on a whim, and I'm gonna fold it up because it's a bit of a origami project which I haven't finished, so it's still a work in progress, and it's a magic 3-month make. It's the Baby Surprise Cardigan by Elizabeth. It's by the Opinionated Knitter. I want to say it's Zipperman, but my friend is called Zimmerman with last name, and I think because I'm thinking of my friend, I'm gonna get the book again. Oh my god, yes! She is called Elizabeth Zimmerman, just like my friend is called Zimmerman. I was like blanking because I've been messaging with my friend. I was like, oh my god. Anyway, it's the cardigan is in the Opinionated Knitter book. This is basically a collection of all the old school type newsletters. So Elizabeth Zimmerman used to send out letters, as in Xeroxed newsletters, patterns, thoughts, like local community updates, and there was some kind of mail order wool thing attached to it. Very, very beautiful, fun writing. I love Elizabeth's voice. I highly recommend. And I made this using the Dice Magic Socks method that we started knitting this summer after a extremely fun, successful raffle at the big party of Wedding Woo Weekend, when we opened this weekend of Yarny Goods Festival here in Berlin Wedding. We had a tombola, so a raffle, and I was given a bag of minis. Well, I had 2 minis because I said, please, not 20 minis. Oh my god, I can't handle it. So my friend only gave me 2 minis, which are still in here. There is like a purple, a light purple, and this kind of greeny, luminous green. And then I used all the leftovers from Stashvent 2022, because there was quite a lot of sock yarns in my calendar last year. And all those sock yarns I put in. And I made the patchwork quilt socks, which you will find out the finished objects. You will remember from my podcast. And I still had leftovers, so on holiday I had brought this book. I cast on the Baby Surprise Cardigan, and I used the same method of rolling the dice for color. So it's a 12-sided dice for rolling which color to choose, and it's a 6-sided dice to choose how many rows to knit. And in this case, because it's garter stitch, I used the number of the 6-sided dice to determine how many garter ridges, as in, well, I'd knit 2 rows per dot of the dice. I don't know if this makes sense, but for me it makes sense because I didn't want to have these mild mid garter ridge color changes. I'm a bit of I do get a bit perfectionist with my things, but the dice help kind of be detached from the choosing of the colors. And when I ran out of a color, like I ran out of this really light purple, then I replaced that because I still needed 12 yarns and 12 colors, and I got really attached to this colorway, which is the Merian by Rosarius for a Portuguese yarn company. Super soft, super affordable, speckled yarns, merino, perfect for baby stuff. Like I'm like, this should be a hat. I mean, it's just brilliant. I really, really think it's a really great new addition to the Wollen Berlin yarns. Yeah, so I replaced it. So when I rolled the dice and it landed on this purple, I just kind of added this speckled there. And there's all the ends are woven in, which is obviously a bit of a task. Maybe you can see it's a little bit squidgy up here. And then I have to close the seam, which is at the top of the sleeves. It's 2 seams that need closing as in sewing up, stitching up. And then I just have to add some buttons and it's finished. But when you knit it, it looks like this. It's like a shape you're knitting, and you just gotta trust the process. You've just gotta follow what Elizabeth says and do it. And then, yeah, when you finished, you're like, oh my god, how does this work? And then you kind of close it as a puzzle and keep double checking and triple checking, and it's fun. I like that. It's a bit of a mind boggle, but it's a good project. So what else is there? There's another cast on from the Moosh and Friends book. Sorry, it's very spooky. This is like Hazel, the squirrel from the Moosh and Friends book that I also introduced in my podcast before. This is the yarn I'm using, which is Exmoor Sock. And you would have seen that I have acquired quite a lot of Exmoor Sock recently. I'm a big fan. So yeah, I've got a face and I need to add the safety eyes and ears and facial features, and that's always a point in the project where I stop. In the summer holidays when I made Aggie, there was no reason to stop because I was very relaxed. I was on holiday, but this is like in my normal life kind of knitting. So the right moment in time will come, and then I will finish. Okay, so that was my Magic 3 Mile check-in, including the watercolors that I've been looking for. Yay, I managed to find them and show you. Plus all the works in progress. You see, I have no finished sets. It's just happening. However, I have one finished object. are just works in progress, and I filmed a little bit for you to give you a bit more close-ups. I have, however, one finished object, and that is the Kuutar Tee. I love it. I should throw it on, but I don't know if it will work with my outfit, so I'm just gonna hold it up. I've stitched the contrast color in here, so as to be able to tell where the back is, because I knitted this Sari Nordlund lace shirt called Kuutar Tee with short rows. So the back is slightly higher, which, you know, when you hold it, it kind of bounces, you see it. But I like to mark where the back of the shirt is. So when I'm in a rushing out for school run or rushing to work, then I can grab it and throw it on. I'm not a very reflective morning dresser. I just kind of, it's very random. You know, I want to throw this on quickly. So I'm extremely happy. It's this a very detailed laced yoke t-shirt, and I knitted it holding lino muka double, 2 strands, in the golden brown colorway. And I have a little reel and some footage from when I was kind of finishing out at the Bauwagen. I had such a good time finishing this in my happy place, and very proud that I managed. I have a couple of photos also showing like the stitch marker trick that my friends had helped me with, and yeah, I pulled through. I just kind of stuck with it, and it's a t-shirt, and it reminds me of my friends who helped me go, oh, just see if you finish it. And not knitting the mystery knit along with West Knits meant that actually I have quite a lot of knit or crafting time. I'm not knitting pressured. I'm just giving myself time and space to finish projects or to like dream up new ones, which is like what happens, you know, with random cast-ons, or, you know, suddenly going, this needs to happen, I want it to happen. And yeah, so I will knit all of these things, including also the squirrel. I'll knit all these things because I'm not crazily knitting a shawl that I'm not actually in need of. I will maybe knit another shawl. My friend Josh Moll designed the worsted shawl, and it works for those yarns that I put aside. So the color selection is not lost forever. It's just on hold until I cast on another one. So I think that's it for today with my projects. Mending wise, I wanted to share that I was able to take part in a beautiful workshop with my friend Jule of Hey Mama Wolf Yarns. Her personal account is now theslowwolf, and yeah, she taught a mending workshop at my workplace, and I got to join the class. My swatch is still very bendy, I haven't blocked it, but look at all the different techniques I learned. So there is a woven darn. We basically cut into our swatch. It was a bit like, oh my god. And then we did a woven darn. Then we practiced some duplicate stitch, and I got to practice for the very first time. Also, again, I cut a hole. Oh, a friend cut the hole for me. I asked Jenny, I passed it to Jenny. I was like, can you please cut it? I don't think I can do it a second time. Jenny cut the hole for me, and yeah, I did a Swiss darn, which is basically a duplicate stitch with like helping lines. It's not perfect. I'm practicing that. That's a very hard mend, but it's so beautiful, and it will be so helpful for most of my broken things. So I'm gonna keep on practicing. And then this is the Langettenstich. I think I'm blanking on the English term. It's like a beehive. It's like a blanket stitch. You basically utilize a blanket stitch to mend. And I always think it looks like beehives because you can do it in the round, just a bit like a beehive shape. But I will add the real name here. Like, I added all the technical names in at the bottom or across the top, but I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed changing, like adding 2 colors. I started on this side, and then I decided to add these kind of blanket stitch lines on the other side as well to even it out. And I was like, I'm so proud, I already managed to turn this upside down. Like, anyway, I was like, yeah. And then after we managed to basically just try out all these techniques that we were shown the once, then we got to bring out our own project, and I'm happily working on a cowl for a friend. So it's like a swap. I got a meal from a friend who owns a restaurant, and I'm fixing their very precious alpaca fluffy loop shawl. And yeah, I'm hoping to finish that next week, so now that it gets colder, that'll be worn. But I had such a great time. I will attend many more mending workshops because, to be honest, one never stops learning. Like, there's so much more to learn, and there's so many more moments of being reminded, like, of what matters to you, me, whoever. In this case, me. Like, I was really happily reminded of loving this skill, or wanting to increase the skill to fix my garments, and to maybe change the focus of the podcast a bit more in that direction. I know my zine is like rich in mending stories and dreams and plans already. I'm already working on the next zine. I'm very excited about the new topic, and it will carry me into the darker months for sure. Maybe it will be published this year. I would be very happy if I completed the second zine, because I'm definitely slower than I used to be with zine making. Yeah, but I think mending is my new knitting. I love it. I just love learning, considering it, and yeah, I love reading books that bring me closer. Both these Mush and Friends, the embroider on knits by Judith Gumlich, which is also, you know, you embroider over a hole of a broken thing, and it's better than old, it's better than broke. And yeah, my library is growing, my project dreams are growing, and definitely my mending drive is here to stay. Or yeah, I want to learn more about that, and I'm really grateful that I got to learn this with Jule, got to practice this. I wanted to ask the Tarot Net Oracle about Stashvent and the swap energy. Like, what is swap energy for me? What is swap energy for you? So I'm gonna pull a card considering that. I'm gonna film what's on the table and edit this so I can put it out there for you or for your friends. Please like, subscribe, hit the little bell mark to be reminded when I upload something new. In general, tell a friend about me, because, you know, I make these and I'm happy to be in your place, and I'm happy for you to share what I make and to join in the community makes. Like in summer when we knitted Lino Muka Knit Along, which is now finished. Like now when we're making magical 3 items and sets of 3 things, tops, bottoms and toys. So a top, some bottoms, a toy or an accessory as a set, flat lay. Yes! Share about that. Join in if you feel like it, or get in touch below with your thoughts on mending. I'm always happy to hear what you're currently working on. Maybe you have something you're currently mending, or that you're dreaming about mending. We can start that conversation in the comments. And join in the swap. You've got 2 to 3 more days to register, and I'd love to have you as part of the community swap called Stashvent, where we put ventilation through our stash. Much love, and see you later. Bye bye. possible light. It's quite late. I think let's check the time actually. It's 5:45. It's not that late. I had a sponsorship sent to me for the Magic 3 Mile prize, because obviously we have a big winner of the flat lays in the end. Here's the knit reportage and unboxing. It's gonna be really crispy. Oh my goodness. So Marisa, who is Abenaia yarn, here's the little stamp. Marisa sent me this prize, and oh my god, it's got sage on it, and this one has rosemary, and it smells delicious. I think this card is for me. Dear Mimi, hope you're fine. Here I send you a little something. There is one for you, and then there is one in sport weight for the knit along as a prize. Big hug, Marisa. Thank you so much, Marisa. I love this card. They're like drawings from Kew Gardens. It's like algae. Thank you so much, Marisa. You got that in London. Okay, I need to work out which one is the fingering weight and which one is for me, which is like a finer. I think this one's for me. With the sage, I'm gonna cherish this so much, Marisa. Wow! Yeah, they have 180 meters, so these are really for me. I love them! Look at them. Okay, let's get a bit of daylight on them. Ah, thank you so much, Marisa. And then this is the price. It's sport weight. Abenaia yarn, which I've actually recently wound for a project for myself. I don't know where I've put it. I think I put it on the table, so I'll show you my wound skein so I can leave this all wrapped up. This is a prize for Magic 3 Mile, so join in the fun. Here is the mini skein. And yeah, this is exactly what's in that parcel. This is Abenaia yarn, the sport weight, in this really luscious brown. And yeah, I'm about to cast on Burgos West by Rosa Pomar, and I want to use Abenaia. So I've wound it. More about that next time. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. Ooh, I wish you could smell this.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. still.